Hey, this is Nathan Drake from Uncharted. You're listening to Raw Dogs, part of the Greenlit Podcast Network. Sic Parvis Magna. Enjoy.
So I'm going to announce for the first time, my cat's new name is going to be Baraka. No.
That's awesome.
Actually, it's not a bad name for a cat.
I'm in full support, and he's like a claw tooth monster.
Baraka is, I think, honestly, a pretty weak character. He's been brought back so many times, and he's just not interesting. I don't know,
They just want he's literally just one of those...
Tarkatan warriors?
Well, no, it's one of the Tarkatan warriors, but he was literally made from the idea of we need someone that looks scary.
We need a scary guy. Did you
I
know
mean,
that?
it's like he's like the Voldo of Mortal Kombat.
Did you know that Baraka in Mortal Kombat 2, they just took a Nosferatu mask from a Halloween store and painted it, and then they attached fake nails to the face to give it like the teeth?
Really?
Yep.
I had no fucking clue about that one.
The more you know,
I
right?
went on it. When I was working, I went on a Wikipedia dive, dude. Because I don't know about you, but the first 3 Mortal Kombats don't really have a story. Let's be clear. It's implied by the people who made it, but there's not a lot of actual cutscenes going on. So how the hell do you know what is happening?
Welcome to Raw Dogs. Welcome to Raw Dogs.
We are here. Welcome to Raw Dogs.
We are here, and I'm Brad.
And I'm Dylan.
And you're Dylan. Dylan, how are you, man?
Oh, I'm doing much better than I was. There was a week there where I just felt like shit.
Yeah?
It's that unemployed quarantine life. Yeah, what are you going to do? Everything's reopening, though, I guess. So
it's been weird bartending again. I have to bartend in a face mask. So I was initially looking to get maybe a Scorpion or a Sub-Zero mask for my face mask. Instead, I found a cheap one that was the mask from Jim Carrey.
Oh.
Yep, and it looks terrifying. And I wore it for 5 seconds, and everyone was just like, "No, I don't know, Brad."
Well, there are ones like they're just blue. You could just pretend you're Kitana.
Yeah, yeah. But it's nice to bartend again. It feels good to be back behind the bar
and interacting with people.
After 3 months, my job, was to do everything but bartend, and that's kind of what my job usually is. And it feels good to do that again. And this is a Patreon episode, so this is just an exclusive for the Patreon backers.
Sure.
And so thank you. And if you are hearing this on the regular podcast, this is months after it was released, and there's another exclusive one out there. But however you're listening to this, we appreciate you. Thanks for checking out Raw Dogs.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Much appreciated.
Yes, because we are slowly getting enough money to pay for hosting. We are hopefully going to get a new tote soon because... It's breaking down. And then eventually we hope to all have our own Mortal Kombat arcade cabinets at home.
Sure.
That is a distant dream in the far-off future.
Yeah.
So, Dylan, what's your experience with the Mortal Kombat franchise?
It wasn't as much as I remember. I played it at friends' houses, but nothing really in depth. I found the gore to be very fascinating. The whole thing about like just how truly violent it was. I found that to be really entertaining.
Yep.
However, I just never got into it. Fighting games weren't my thing until Street Fighter 4.
I wasn't really into the fighting games as much, but there was such fervor about Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter that everybody was talking about it. At least in Millbank, South Dakota, it was a hot topic for a while there. Mostly...
all 5 of them?
Yeah, all 5 of us. All the kids got together, and no one got hurt when we were playing Mortal Kombat, but... I think Mortal Kombat 3 was the first one that one of us owned that was just like... We had Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 for the Super Nintendo. We probably caught my dad at a weak point because I don't think my mom would have bought it. And my dad just like, shut up, whatever, put it in the cart.
That's how I got Resident Evil 2 for the N64. My mom was just like, oh, it's on sale? I guess. It's just a picture of an eye.
Yeah.
You can trick parents if you try hard enough, kids.
Yeah. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 it's like kind of the air mystery about those games where there are like the codes that you're doing before the battle. You can unlock certain hidden characters. Mortal Kombat has a striking difference versus Street Fighter. I think Street Fighter is much more smooth and combo based. Mortal Kombat's a little more awkward and special moves based, where you really do have to be ultra familiar with the character.
It's more about direction and less about movement.
Yeah.
Because a lot of Street Fighter combos are done, like the Hadouken is a swift move from a down to the side plus the B or whatever the button is. I don't recall. Yeah. And that will do a Hadouken, but it actually feels natural to do that because it's in line with the character's movements on screen. In Mortal Kombat, before a combo is done, you'll see a character kind of jitter on screen before the actual move is executed.
Yeah.
And I always found that kind of weird.
Yeah, it's definitely not smooth because you go down, left, down, right, up, and then you do your...
then you'll see the character,
Yeah, you're... Get over here.
Get over here.
Fun fact, Scorpion, Ed Boon, is the longest running video game character with one voice actor with Scorpion's Get Over Here. He's
That's still Ed Boon?
He still does the Get Over Here part of the performance.
Did he do it in the movie?
I think so, yeah.
That was him?
I think that's him in the movie.
I gotta look this up too.
Yeah. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that besides playing the games, Johnny Cage did sneak me into an after party at the Midwest Gaming Classic, and I did take my shirt off with Kung Lao in front of a group of people.
Yes.
Yep. So Daniel Pacina, a good friend of ours, he was one of the co-creators of the original game. He is Johnny Cage, Scorpion, Sub-Zero.
Now hold on, he's also
Mocap?
Mocap, thank you.
Mocap is Carlos Pacina, Daniel's brother.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there's multiple Pacinas. So his brother played Raiden in the original ones.
Okay.
How could Raiden and Scorpion be brothers, but in the real world they are? And we know Kung Lao because Tony Marquez, great guy. We've also had Shang Tsung on the podcast, Dr. Philip An.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So that was fun.
Nice.
And I bought him a rum and Coke, so I felt cool buying Shang Tsung a rum and Coke.
Oh, man. He is so good in this game. Mortal
Shang
Kombat 11.
Well, Shang Tsung, I think throughout the whole series, is a pretty great villain.
Wait, no, he's not the actor who played him in the movie. He is in 11.
In 11, it is the same one.
But he's the one before him. So he's the one from the 2011 reboot, right?
Yep, they had the one Shang Tsung for 9, 10, and 11, and that's the actor from the movie.
Well, he wasn't in 10.
Well, I guess so, correct. But it's that the new rebooted timeline that's got that Shang Tsung.
Yeah.
Before we get too much into like the video games, just a very brief overview of the cosmology.
Oh no.
Spelled with a fucking K.
Yeah, everything with a K.
Because I think it's most fascinating is why is Sonic the Hedgehog there? Was there a Big Bang? Was there this?
Something fascinating, even watching the movie on YouTube for Mortal Kombat 11, because I actually looked up a copy at GameStop for the Switch just so I could own it.
Yeah.
It was like $20, but I didn't feel like going out of my way, to be absolutely honest with you.
I own Mortal Kombat 10. I have not beaten it.
10 is good. 10 is good.
I love the story modes for all those, but after Mortal Kombat 4, I only briefly have touched the rest of the series, but believe me, we have done our research. What we're doing today is just discussing the lore. We're not going to be talking necessarily about who's got the best combos, special moves, fatalities. No. If we have some that we want to talk about, we will, but...
I'm ready to roast these motherfuckers because I don't know who was getting paid to design some of these characters. They are crazy, even from a design standpoint.
Yeah, I wish I had even more time to look into this because you can definitely see the low points of the series where they're just... 4.
Yeah, for everyone, it was pretty much 4.
We can't have Kano. Let's have a Jarek. Let's have a Jarek guy in there.
Yeah, Jarek. He's the thing is in these fighting games, they kill people off screen, or it's implied that you killed them on screen.
Well, and even if you did kill them on screen, turns out you didn't kill them later on because they need to have them back.
Well, I mean, I watched... I watched the opening to Mortal Kombat 11, and I witnessed Cassie Cage put a bullet in her mom's skull. So,
did she do that?
If you play the game, like you fight like a Mortal Kombat match.
Oh yeah.
So like, if you watch the fight all the way through, like it's showing them like brutalizing them, and I'm like, that's your mom.
Yeah. Yep.
Ludonarrative dissonance, is that what they call that?
If you got kneed in the chin and you actually see the jaw break, that person is not going to be talking that next cutscene.
I mean, I don't know. I saw Shao Kahn get like an axe through the shoulder, and then it gets pulled out, and he's just okay, even though anyone with a basic idea of anatomy would just know that it would slop off to the side.
Well, I mean, Shao Kahn has the gifts of wearing only like shoulder pads and leather. just like leather straps and a thong.
Yeah, but he's got a really great helmet.
He's got a great hammer. I'll give him that. He's got a pretty cool helmet.
Now, has he always had that hammer, even in like...
The hammer's always been a part of his character.
Okay.
So, at the very top of this, there was one being and the Elder Gods. The Elder Gods didn't like how powerful the one being was, and they divided him up into 6 kamidogu, they're called, or whatever, like relics, and 6 realms. That's why there are 6 realms, and the one being, his essence, his force lingers on, and he's part of Onaga and Shao Kahn. He's influencing them because he wants the realms to come together so he can be back in existence. And the Elder God's goal is to keep the realms apart, and to make that more difficult, they came up with the idea of Mortal Kombat, because otherwise it'd be kind of easy for one to invade another. They're like, well, you have to do 10 tournaments, 50 years apart, and you have to win 10 in a row as a way to slow it down. And for some reason, everyone's like, oh, that makes sense.
They're all pretty on board because, spoiler alert, nobody actually abides by that at any point.
They do up through Mortal Kombat
1.
After
2?
Well, after 2, they
three,
they pull a fast one, and then 3, all bets are off.
Yeah.
And then there hasn't been a proper Mortal Kombat since. I think that they had some really great characters for the first game.
Yeah. The designs are all pretty solid. There is the typical palette swap ninja that you've got going on in Sub-Zero and
Save some space. I love
Scorpion.
Sub-Zero and Scorpion. Just that one ninja design and just flopping those colors on them.
It's pretty genius.
It's pretty genius. And also, I would say Scorpion and Sub-Zero are pretty much everybody's favorite characters from the games.
I would definitely agree with that. I do have an anecdote. Allie was watching some of these movie compilations with me last night.
Okay.
And she called Sub-Zero something that I actually think is a better name for him. Cold Front.
Ooh. Yeah.
And then I had an idea because I was actually thinking of how these people were named, like these characters. And I said to myself, like, Sub-Zero, like, so below zero? I'm like, that sucks. What about Absolute Zero?
Dude.
The point at which everything snaps when it freezes.
Yeah.
Like, why not call him that?
If there was like a God mode, or what do they have, the Pokemon Super mode or whatever.
As we find out, the first Sub-Zero, Bihan, dies. Why doesn't the one who takes up the mantle call himself Absolute Zero?
Right.
Better name. I don't know.
I'm just going to take his name and eventually put his clothes on.
That's essentially it. It's like, oh, I'm his brother. Oh, okay. Everyone's cool with it. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess the Lin Kuei, you must at some point just choose your nickname. Or is there one person who's like, okay, you're going to be a cold guy. Let's go with Stone Cold.
Oh, Stone Cold, Sub-Zero, Cold Front, Blizzard guy. Nope. Toss that one.
Frozen Balls. I don't know. What do we got?
Yeah.
I can only come up with so many cold names, and we're all pretty cold over here.
Well, and it's so 90s. They're named, Sonya is named Sonya Blade.
Sonya Blade is a fine character.
A fine character,
She's a fine character. She doesn't really change throughout the entire series, pretty much. I guess, if anything, she goes from wearing like an athletic outfit to looking like she's military.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. She's very headstrong. She's the typical 90s girl empowerment.
I do like that it took going to an alternate universe for Johnny Cage to get laid, though.
Well, he was probably getting laid all the time.
Well, not by Sonya.
Oh,
yeah.
Right, yeah.
And Johnny Cage, I think, is just a fantastic character. And I think it's partially because for the first game, they were kind of considering a Jean-Claude Van Damme thing.
Sure.
Van Damme went and did too much cocaine and fucked about and made Street Fighter. So they probably just made this kind of action star guy.
Well, he's kind of an arrogant Tom Cruise. That's the best way you can describe him. Yeah, let's not dig into Tom Cruise. I have no clue.
And while we mention Johnny Cage, let's just hear some of his movie titles, because I found a full list of his movies that he's done.
Ninja Mime.
Ninja Mime 1 through 5. There was Dragon Fist 1 and 2, and Son of Dragon Fist.
Hua.
Sudden Violence, Aquatic Assault. So many. The Gist of My Fist. I like that one.
7 Poisons. That's actually a real... The 7 Deadly Venoms or something? That's an actual real movie.
After Mortal Kombat 2, Once that
the gist of my fist.
The gist of my fist. After Mortal Kombat 2, he went and made 2 movies, Mortal Kombat 1 and Mortal Kombat 2.
That is so sick. Like,
they canceled the death of Johnny Cage because he did come back to life. Probably.
Yes.
I don't know. Citizen Cage, a spoof of Citizen Kane. Tommy Scissorfists, a
Caged
spoof of
Rage.
Edward Scissorhands.
Dude, he's made more. How old is he supposed to be?
Breaknose Mountain.
Breaknose Mountain.
Yes.
Time Smashers.
He's a fun character, though.
He's probably the most entertaining. Some much needed levity in that whole group of characters. You can't just throw a bunch of these overly hardcore things people's direction.
Nobody else is a comedic character outright. It is funny to see Sonya blow a kiss and someone blow up. The fatalities or the way Raiden screams his whatever that sound is.
I don't know.
It's like, da, 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 da.
Yeah.
During the Mortal Kombat 9 movie, there's one part where Raiden sees Motaro off in like the distance, and you just see him go up and he just like flies through a bridge and you hear that sound.
Oh.
I was like, nice little call back there.
Well, I have something to say about 9 in general.
Okay.
Because I played through 10. It still looks fantastic.
Yeah.
And then I watched the movie for 11, and then I'm like, I really forgot the 9 story. And then I went back to it. Wow-wee.
9 is a lot. Well, it goes so much longer than you think.
It's also just so rough to look at. It's a rough looking video game. Like in 10 and 11, they actually look like human beings, which is it when you go from literally 2020 back to the year 2011.
Oh yeah,
it's just suddenly like, whoa, holy shit! Like, because it's the difference between mocap actors and stuff they had to animate themselves. And Sonya's got like these big fake tits that are like hanging out of her vest.
They are terrible. The big fake tits are a plague on that game until pretty much Mortal Kombat 11, where they become downsized and covered up. Otherwise, every single character has
oh my god, they all look the same.
Gigantic silicone similar breasts. No difference.
There's no difference. They're the same size.
Yeah. I wonder if Shang Tsung ever plays with his boobs when he changes.
I bet he does.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like a sorcerer. They're just 2 flaming skulls.
Shang Tsung, he was the champion of Mortal Kombat, but he was defeated
by Goro.
by the great hero Kung Lao back in the day.
Oh, so over 500 years ago then.
Yep, and then Goro has since won 9 in a row. It's interesting when the characters start off and then they have to somehow give Cyrax something to do for like 5 games later. I don't know. It's interesting that Goro actually becomes kind of a good character for a while later.
Yeah, he does. He's actually a pretty entertaining character, at least when you like first see him. There's this air of mystery about him. Then it turns out he's just like buff forearm man.
He's buff forearm man, and he's made out of clay, which makes him a little different.
I really like the way he looks. He also looks great in the movie still. I think we talked about that.
The movie, that's the best part of the movie is Goro's animatronics.
Yes.
Although he was allegedly a diva on set. Because he was very hard to work with and kind of finicky.
Goro is very famous for being a bit of a brat.
Yeah. You can't just break someone's sunglasses, dude. Those are expensive.
I mean, yeah. Oh, that part in 11 where Johnny Cage punches himself, takes the glasses, snaps them, and then he just pulls out another one. That is so sick.
A little context for if you haven't played all of the games. Let's just mention that Mortal Kombat 1 through 7 go through a linear timeline. Mortal Kombat 8 is MK versus DC Universe, which is this alternate non-canon.
Injustice before Injustice.
And then 9, at the very end of 7, Raiden realizes they're going to lose and sends a vision back to himself. So Mortal Kombat 9 is actually a retelling of 1, 2, 3. Yeah. It's almost like an FF7 remake where it's the same, but it's different. And things are slightly changing.
Right. And these slight changes are actually like pretty compelling.
They're very interesting. Instead of Smoke getting turned into cybernetic warrior, it's Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
Cyber Sub-Zero, that was a cool twist. But so when we mention 9, that means it is a Mortal Kombat 1 through 3 retelling. Mortal Kombat 10 is actually kind of a retelling of Mortal Kombat 4.
With Shinnok, yeah.
Yep. And then Mortal Kombat 11, they realized that they didn't want to use Blaze or Onaga, so they're like, we need someone cool.
Yeah. And so they came up with their own thing, and it has to do with time travel. It is the Back to the Future, too.
It's great.
It's pretty good.
It is pretty good.
I was entertained, and I was playing video games while I was watching it on my Switch, and I was just like, oh, actually, this isn't too bad. Even Allie was completely entertained.
It's like a movie. Yeah. I mean, it looks like a movie, and it's amazing how well a lot of the characters are defined. Mm-hmm. There are, of course, some duds. Some of like Scarlet and Devora. Man, I hate Devora.
I like Devora. She's fun to play as.
Apart from playing her, I don't care for her design.
Yeah.
Or her audio design. I don't care for her voice.
Bug girl with like flittery bug sounding voice. Like, yeah, I am here to destroy you. Ah.
I'm a bug.
I'm a bug person.
Sorry, Shao Kahn. I now work for Quan Chi. And now I work for Shinnok. And now I work for Kronika.
Well, they really, for a lot of these characters, they throw shit at the wall to see if it sticks. One of the things I found very fascinating is how quickly they will just abandon a supposedly pretty significant character in each installment.
So are we talking about Mortal Kombat 10 where they have the Mortal Kombat kids?
The Kombat kids,
they have Jackie Briggs, Jax's daughter.
Yes.
Cassie Cage, the daughter of Johnny and Sonya. Mm-hmm. And then they have Takeda Takahashi, who is the son of Kenshi, and who was trained by Hanzo Hasashi, Scorpion's human form. And then, of course, we have Kung Jin, the cousin of Kung Lao. And man, I did not care for Kung Jin or Takeda's designs. They looked bad.
They just straight up looked bad.
I didn't. I mean, Kung Jin.
They were trying to make him hip for the kids, you know?
Then oh God, did it not work?
I felt like at any time they were going to start using like meme speak, you know, like where it's just like
the only one that
where they would have, if they said LOL, take it easy, man. What is something a cool kid would say?
I mean, the only person who should say that is Johnny Cage talking shit to them before a battle, like LOL, I'm going to kick your ass. Like, oh, Dad.
It's like, Dad, come on, dude. I found them. Maybe Jackie Briggs was okay, but I just didn't understand a lot of these inclusions.
I liked Jackie's design where they gave her those little like gun arms.
She's just such an uninteresting looking character.
Curtis Stryker. If your character doesn't have anything to really define how they look, you have to have really strong personality or character traits that can overcome that. And Cassie Cage, she's just a really hardworking soldier who's trying to prove it to her mom and dad.
Yeah, but she's kind of got Johnny Cage's sense of humor to some degree. With the prowess of like her mother's like combat ability, and she's also got like the magic of Johnny Cage because they
brought that family out of nowhere.
Yeah, a thing I completely forgot about. That he's got like green magic. Yeah, but he's got green magic. What the fuck?
Because he's descended from Mediterranean warriors.
Oh, okay.
We'll just add that in later. Fix that in post.
Well, I mean, there does have to be a reason to some degree that a guy who does his own stunts in movies can suddenly just whoop ass.
Well, so there are 6 realms. Earth realm is where most of our people are from. Yep. And then the first one that we hear of outside of that is Outworld, which to me it used to be much crazier looking because it just looks like Mortal Kombat Annihilation in my head initially, like all purple skies. It's more of a Mad Max world though. Yeah,
it's kind of a sub-Saharan, I would almost say Middle Eastern locale.
And everything's kind of cobbled together and broken, and it's just a much more cutthroat society where it's
it's like Morocco. It looks like Morocco.
If you steal an apple, you lose a hand.
Yeah. I mean that's kind of the rule of law in a lot of places still.
We have the Outworld, which is like the Mad Max.
Yes.
Nether-realm, which is hell.
Hell, yeah. Hell.
It is hell, because even when Shinnok, the second or the third main baddie, one of the baddies, he gets banished there by Raiden hundreds and hundreds of years ago, but he actually has to kill Lucifer to become the ruler of the Nether-realm in the comic books or the extended lore, which I was like, cute. That's cute.
Yeah, and Sonic the Hedgehog dates a chipmunk named Sally Acorn in the comics too.
Sierra Bubowski.
Titty fuck the bat.
Oh man, Sonic lore. There is Edenia, which is essentially kind of the Garden of Eden It looks kind of like heaven.
Yeah. Like a very bland heaven.
Yeah. It's not exciting.
Nope.
But that's where Katana and Sindel are from. And then you have two other ones you don't hear of as often. You have Order Realm.
And Chaos Realm.
Which Order Realm almost kind of becomes like a strict fascist realm. And then Chaos Realm, there's only one character, I'm pretty sure, that comes from Chaos Realm. And his name is Havoc. And he's just like a crazy motherfucker. I'm like, kind of like him, you know?
I think Meat came from Chaos Realm.
Well, Meat was, of course, a failed experiment from Shang Tsung.
I know.
And when I saw Meat on the... Okay, so Meat...
I saw some gameplay.
Meat is a bag of bones from Mortal Kombat 4.
Well, he's not a bag of bones.
Well,
he's just a flesh man.
And he was created by Shang Tsung. And he
with a disemboweled eye that hangs.
He just escaped, though, and people are breaking him as like one of the worst characters. And the idea of like a failed experiment,
that's entertaining.
Escaping and trying to just fight and doesn't know what he's doing. That's Frankenstein's monster. That's super interesting to me.
Yeah, but what's not cool about it? Like, and then he like has to discover his humanity, but he looks really gross.
Yeah.
I
just want some skin, guys.
Can you magic me some skin?
Get away from me.
You beat me in a bloody duel, but I will not restore your flesh.
You smell weird. Get away from here.
Oh, you smell like iron.
Sick.
And he talks like this. I'm sorry.
My eye fell out.
I'm sorry.
My eye fell out again.
Oh my God. And at the time, I bet he was just made for the gross out factor.
Every step hurts. I don't have skin.
No, he can't feel pain.
Oh, he can't feel pain. Well,
that's in his Wikipedia.
We have spent too much time on that fucking Mortal Kombat Wikipedia.
Here's the thing.
It's pretty well put together.
Here's the thing. You have to give these creators credit for just having ideas. Stuff like this you would see in some, like comic books, stuff like that. But you never saw something this outrageous until they just were like, yeah, and here he is. He's a big no skin guy.
Well, since Goro, we kind of killed him off in the first one, so we just brought him back with tiger stripes and named him Kintaro.
Dude, Kintaro looks cool still.
He's all right.
I think he looks cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's a cat version of him, and it's really funny because they never explain what like when species diverge slightly, but like they can still like breed together. It's like it's not speciation.
Oh yeah.
But I just found that so fascinating, and I'm like, that's really interesting because it's like races within their species.
Yeah, there's only 2 of them in the Shokan race, and the Tigrar are extremely rare. But Kintaro is a Tigrar.
Makes you wonder what's going on there story wise. If only they developed characters at all.
Uncle Kenny banged a tiger.
Uncle Forearms banged a kitty cat.
He couldn't get away. He's got 4 arms.
Oh, it's a calico. Oh no.
He's holding on to it and drinking a beer at the same time. And then you have Liu Kang. He's a Shaolin monk.
Very straightforward, but they had to put him in there.
To me, not super interesting. He's I mean, I don't want to call him Goku. He's like Superman without those powers because he's just virtue and just walks forward towards the goal and does generally the right thing.
Here's what you call a character like this. He is shonen.
Yeah.
Which is basically like every anime you've ever seen about a boy who has special powers and tries to always do the right thing. That's just shonen.
I have trained my entire life, Raiden.
Exactly. I think it's interesting that they gave him an arc with this newer trilogy.
I think, okay, so Liu Kang wins the Mortal Kombat's 1, 2, 3, and 4 tournaments. I want to say he wins all 4, and then he's killed at the very beginning of Deadly Alliance by Shang Tsung and Quan Chi.
Right.
I think they just realized his character, they didn't really know what to do with him. And then it's great because he comes back as Raiden goes kind of crazy in Armageddon. He's like, just brings him back as a zombie. Might have been Deception.
He gets implanted in Kitana for a while, and
yeah, I wouldn't mind planting in Katana for a while.
Oh boy.
Heck, even Melina if I had enough.
And just, no baby, just keep the mask on.
It's funny to me when the Tarkatans, those are like the Baraka people, it's funny when they talk because they don't have lips.
So they can't do P's. I was literally doing that to Allie last night. I was like, I am trying to say something.
Liu
Kang. Oh, it does. It's P's and M's. That are the problem.
So then when Raiden goes back in time and
Well, he sends like a message to himself.
Sends a message to himself, but he ends up killing Liu Kang because Liu Kang's like, dude, you're going crazy, Raiden. You want Shao Kahn to win the tournament, which, granted, it was ultimately what he was aiming for, but Liu Kang becomes the leader of the Nether-realm eventually.
With Kitana as his wife.
Very cool.
Very
and
rad.
then the end of Mortal Kombat 11, where he ultimately like winds up fusing with Raiden and becoming Fire God Liu Kang.
I thought that was okay. I was just kind of like, I get what... Like, if you had been following this and you were an avid fan from 2011, that is an extreme payoff that you were probably hoping for. Because in 10, Liu Kang was just a revenant the entire time. There was like no redemption at all.
There was even like no characterization there.
No.
Whereas in a Mortal Kombat 11, he actually talks to Raiden. He's like, "You fucking killed me.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna forgive you, man.
Yeah.
Come on."
And it's really fun to see their past selves just be like, no, well, we've got to trust Raiden, right?
Yeah.
And then
I don't know, man. Raiden's a pretty cool guy.
I don't know, he's pretty cool. Stop trying to deceive me. I know better.
Dude, when young Johnny Cage, like, I solemnly swear to tap that ass as soon as I can, and everybody in the room stops.
They're like, oh, gross. And older Johnny Cage is just mortified.
Dude, how like if I had to hang out with young Brad talking about how he loves Dave Matthews Band,
Oh no.
or just seeing me in
I
college.
can't believe how uncool you got.
Just, dude, watching, like, if I had to watch myself at a party stoned wearing my him hat in college.
I'm just picturing like walking down into the basement I used to live in high school and just catching myself masturbating and just going, ugh, God damn it. You're doing this again.
And then you go back to your house and you go to your basement and you do it again.
It's just like, oh, this is so rough.
I watched a lot of Mortal Kombat YouTube videos, and there's a lot of good ones. There's one where the guy just has him posters behind him the whole time. And I'm like, this is my alternate universe, I think.
There is definitely a reality where you got too into this.
Yeah. Dude, there's realities where I got too into a lot of things.
Yeah. And I am so thankful that I, even despite my reservations about myself nearly all the time, I'm still glad I'm on this timeline. I really am. Because I don't think I could handle it.
Throw away your him posters.
It's like, and it's like, oh, you're jerking off to a Maxim magazine? You fucking idiot.
Those are desperate times, man.
Yeah, I didn't have internet till I was like 16.
What are you going to do, man? Heck, video game magazines back in the day had some ads.
Well, I mean, look at the Babe-Roonies.
With the Tierra Bubowski's on her. So I'd like to bury my face in her Kanos. And then we have Kano. He is from the Black Dragon clan, which is a clan of mercenaries split from the Red Dragon clan, of course, founded by Dagon, who was the son of Argus. Everyone knows all this boring stuff.
Of course. One of the things that I found fascinating is that he was supposed to originally be Japanese American.
Yeah, it wasn't until I think it was the movie where they just kind of cast an Australian actor and everyone just imagined that he was Australian.
He's more interesting as the Australian, to be fair.
Dude, as soon as Kano runs into past Kano meets future Kano, I knew those guys would just be like, yep, we're cool. Best friends immediately. Finally someone I like. Well, that's really what it is. Finally someone I can get along with.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, who can you trust? I remember that. I think he's a really interesting looking character, at least. He's got that like faceplate with the eye that shoots laser beams and can see through all this shit.
You know what makes you think maybe Jack should have ripped out both eyes? He got two laser eyes. If you get stronger when you lose a limb or lose like an ability and it just gets better.
Why the fuck not?
I don't know.
I would
Way we're onto something.
And it's not like and if eyes really are the window to the soul, as people suppose,
yes.
his soul should just be two big giant glowy red things.
Yeah. Well, and then he has the heart implant put in later on.
God,
of course.
yeah. Does that one shoot lasers too?
I think so. Because
Iron
Shu
Man
Hao from the Red Dragon clan.
God bless you, by the way.
God bless you. Shu Hao. Shu Hao. Kano, I do like when they run into each other and young Kano like punches himself in the arms like, dang, I'm still ripped. This is tight, dude.
Do you think they jerked each other off?
No.
Because simultaneously, because the rules of their time travel in 11 are really... the rules of their time travel is so weird in that one.
It's one thing where I understand if you cut off someone's foot and they lose a foot in the future, I can see that. But if someone gets punched and it hurts them immediately like a punch in the future.
And then it's just like, why would you feel that? That would have healed a long time ago.
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, like when Liu Kang breaks his calf bone, it like goes right through him. And then in the future it's going, or in the past it's going through, or wait, no. Opposite. Turn that around. In the past and then in the future. And it's like, oh, so your leg just hurt in the past? Maybe you'd have like a bum leg.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Although I do like it when Kano is threatening young Johnny and then Cassie realizes if I shoot young Kano, then old Kano will have a bullet through his eye as well. So young Sonya. Well, and I've gone cross-eyed.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. It's a very good ending for Kano to get his other eye blown out, but like the fact that the future him is like, oh man, whoa, and then it just shows him stumbling around to give him a dramatic death.
It's like Breaking Bad when Gus gets blown up. Yeah,
and he kind of walks out, and then he flops over. Yeah, I don't know.
Cinematic.
It's beautiful. Their use of time travel is just tenuous.
We briefly mentioned Scorpion and Sub-Zero. They're from rival assassin gangs.
Yeah.
Scorpion is from the Shirai Ryu. They are Japanese ninjas. And Sub-Zero is from the Lin Kuei, and they're Chinese assassins. So apart from being from other gangs, they're from other countries, which have a lot of enmity between them. There's a great line in Mortal Kombat mythology.
I didn't realize Scorpion's was Japanese and his was Chinese. I had no clue.
There's a great part where Quan Chi calls Bihan. He's like, ninja. He's like, let's get something straight. I am no ninja. Back off, bitch.
That's legit to quit. Now, Brad, who do you prefer?
Are we talking Hanzo Hasashi Bihan or Kuai Liang?
Let's do a pairing of Kuai Liang versus Hanzo.
Human Hanzo is fucking interesting to me.
Very interesting.
The warrior who realized he had hatred in his heart and he was doing the wrong thing.
But he still has like the demon powers.
Still has the demon powers, but he has used his time for good from then on.
Right.
Hanzo has a great look, a cool design.
Yes.
And he's doing the right thing. Also, I mean, Kuai Liang is great too because he is reforming the Lin Kuei for the right reasons. I remember being upset in Mortal Kombat 3 with his new look where he lost the ninja outfit and he's just wearing like those suspender things. But then I read that he quit dressing like the Lin Kuei because he was so upset with the fact they went cybernetic and he just abandoned them. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but the fact that you have to read it is so silly.
It is silly.
You have to read it in something else. That's why these Mortal Kombat, this newer trilogy has been so successful, is because they're not going to beat around the bush. They're just going to give you the storyline because they know people are actually interested in it, at least to see where it goes.
I think that Mortal Kombat 1 through 3 is a very self-contained trilogy to a large extent.
Yeah.
I think it all...
Same bits, same look.
A lot of the same characters.
Yeah.
And then they did Mortal Kombat 4 because they had to try and transition into
the 3D.
And they did make a strange decision, though, to abandon a lot of characters, which I think people would have liked to have seen again for, let's just jump.
Basically duplicates, but younger.
Fujin is a cool character. Cool enough. Jarek, Black Dragon member, the last one allegedly. Terrible. You have Kai, who Liu Kang was kind of modeled after Bruce Lee, and who trained with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, maybe? Kai was just because, like, Bruce Lee trained with that dude. So, like, oh, that's who Liu Kang's training. The character, Raiko, who is just kind of got, like, a ninja outfit and raccoon eyes.
Oh, him. But they're kind of like the Crow. Yeah.
Well, and there was almost no story in Mortal Kombat 4, which, I mean, it's not something
most of them don't either, though.
It's not something you need. There's a tournament. It's always interesting in the games, though, when your character wins the tournament and you can see their ending. It's like even with Twisted
it's
Metal
so strange
or any of
they
that.
don't explain what's going on at the start.
Yep. Raiko. Do. And you're like, Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know he liked that.
Sure, yeah.
And what was great, because no one really knew who he was other than he was working with Shinnok. At the end, if he beats Shinnok, you see him go through a portal, and he just puts on Shao Kahn's helmet, and everyone's like, that's Shao Kahn? That was Shao Kahn? And nope, you find out later he just likes going into Kahn's room and putting his helmet on, like, I'm a king, I'm Shao Kahn.
If you couldn't see my eye roll, I liked watching a lot of this stuff. Sophisticated storytellers, they are not.
No, Raiko was another extremely weak character. I mean, pretty much after Mortal Kombat's 1 through 3, the characters that survived the 3D, like the 3D games then on, are few and far between. Not many last more than a game. So you have those three. Quan Chi is cool.
Quan Chi's cool.
Quan Chi's design is fantastic.
Yeah, he just kind of looks like this exotic albino who put on makeup.
Yep.
So you got that weird like satanic priest vibe, which I really dig.
Guar armor.
Yeah. And you could tell that he was powerful just by looking at him. Otherwise, you wouldn't have those face tattoos.
Him and Shang Tsung both. There's something about sorcerers which just everyone knows never trust a sorcerer, and everyone's like, okay, I'm gonna trust you.
It's really cool too because I like the concept of like a Chinese sorcerer, kind of like in a bunch of like kung fu movies I've seen, or even like Big Trouble in Little China. Just the look of that, like where you're like this dignified nobleman, but you also wield like these magical powers. It looks really cool. So
you're talking about Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat 1, not Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat 2 when they gave him yellow suspenders and a funny hat.
Well, when he's getting down to business, he puts on the suspenders.
We were talking about, don't want to see your past self. That's what happens when Shang Tsung gets put back to 19 years old. Because that's what it says. He was 19 years old. That's how young he was. Because they made him young again. Gave him more power. So that's what he was dressing like at 19.
Oh, God. Well, I kind of take it back. I like the old one from 11.
The old one from 11 and Mortal Kombat 3's is getting better. It's still pretty bad, though. I don't know. It's because he stands with his hands like vipers ready to strike.
Like he's a fucking Dracula.
Yeah. Yeah. Who else we got in for? And then you got Quan Chi and Shinnok.
I like Shinnok a lot.
Shinnok's a cool design, too, because he was an elder god who kind of became corrupt and then tried to bring the realms together himself.
Yeah.
And Raiden banished him. He's got a cool design, and I like that he went to the Nether-realm, met this sorcerer down there. Yep. Quan Chi's like, just trust me, I'll take care of you. The moment Quan Chi gets his hands on his amulet, he gives a fake one to Shinnok, like, I got it.
Hey, here
you go, bud.
Come on, buddy.
Shinnok's all right, and then you have Tanya, who was kind of just like another palette swap for a Melina or Katana, almost with yellow.
Now, I did a bit of a deep dive, and apparently people are extremely horny for Tanya.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Because the one way that you know a character is popular is if you search for them on Rule 34.
Never done that. That's not where I do my character searches.
I'll do what nobody has to.
He's doing it, guys. He's doing it so we don't have to.
Yeah. I've never played a game with Tanya in it, so what the fuck do I know?
She's not much of a character in 4. She just opens up the portal for Shinnok to come into. Adenia is what 4 was, but they have retconned it to be Earthrealm.
Aha.
Yeah, whatever there. But then you also have Meat, the horrific experiment from Shang Tsung. Returning characters, so many, especially if you got the Dreamcast version, Mortal Kombat Gold, because that added like Baraka, Cyrax, Katana, Kung Lao, Melina, Sector. That's all about
Sector.
Well, Mortal Kombat 1, Shang Tsung loses. Mortal Kombat 2, Shang Tsung's like, dude, let me be young again. I'll go to Earthrealm. I'll kill a bunch of people. They'll get pissed, and then I'll say, let's have one last tournament in Outworld, all or nothing. And that's kind of what happens there. And then they lose again. And then Shao Kahn's like, fuck it. I'm going in.
Yep.
And then they defeat Shao Kahn even there. Liu Kang does. Then you have 4 where you have Shinnok.
What's cool about Shinnok's design, especially in like the reboot, is that literally the skin is teared away on his arms, like his forearms. And he just looks like a spooky skeleton man with those. It looks sick. He's got a lot of cool like grab techniques. I was a Shinnok main. That's exactly what I'm saying. From 10.
Yeah.
I found him the most entertaining to play as.
And I think that they really were still kind of going for that heavy metal, hardcore aesthetic. They kind of leaned more into the silliness and more of like refined storytelling and character development later on.
Yeah.
Because I think after 3, 4, I don't want to say it was a misstep because they did some cool story things. I do like what they did with Shinnok, and they brought in a new villain. Cool. I think the gameplay really didn't work. That like kind of sidestepping 3D wasn't.
Yeah. I may have played this one time in my life.
Yeah.
I was probably so young I wouldn't know the difference between a really great game and a super mediocre game anyway. Mm-hmm. So I'm not really sure. But the stuff I saw online was just completely abysmal. There was no like actual artistic direction in this.
Some of the voice acting in the scenes is amazing.
Yes, that scene where Jarek.
I was just thinking of that one.
Basically,
you can't what? You can't do it. No, this is brutality. Jax.
He's like, I don't care.
No, Jax. No, this is fatality.
Oh my God. It's wonderful. But he just witnessed like one of his closest friends die too. So I was also like, I don't know, man.
I think one of the most striking redesigns though for Mortal Kombat 4 was Reptile. Actually having to go full Zaterran, full dinosaur.
I didn't see that, no.
Because he's just all scales. And it's just him. He is just a reptile at that point.
That's how he looks in the reboot one too, and he looks slick. He looks good.
They even go further into the dinosaur look. So the Zaterrans were originally descended from the dinosaurs from Earth, kind of like King Koopa in the Mario movie.
Oh, you mean Dennis Hopper?
Dennis Hopper, yes, the evil King Koopa. What is this sludge? But I guess Shinnok through some sort of a huge power tantrum or something, enough to open portals on Earth, and then that's kind of what killed the dinosaurs, but some of the last surviving Zaterrans got out. And it's interesting that Reptile believes he is the last Zaterran, and all he's doing is trying to serve whoever might be able to help him get to it, like more power or learn anything about his Zaterran race.
Poor guy.
And I don't think he's the smartest because he winds up doing some dumb things and he accidentally becomes like one of the strongest characters in the universe.
I mean, dinosaurs did have the brains the size of peanuts.
Yeah.
Those types of creatures, they live on instinct. That's what reptiles are.
Mortal Kombat 5 Deadly Alliance, I think, is kind of cool.
Now, these 2000s to whenever, completely off my radar. I had no clue about any of these.
Well, okay. I didn't play any of these either because after 4, I thought the series was not interesting. And I fell away from fighting games in a really big way right around here.
Yeah.
And
why do you think that was?
First-person shooters were more interesting. RPGs were more interesting.
Yeah.
And just straightforward fighting games wasn't doing it for me. It really wasn't until something like I played some Tekken Tag Tournament in that, but it's really with Mortal Kombat 9 and 10 where they finally figured out how to put a story mode in.
Yeah.
And even Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe has a pretty interesting story mode. It's not great, but it's at least you change between characters and you can advance a story chapter to chapter with different characters. Or something like Smash Brothers where there is a competitive scene that I am interested in. But the PlayStation 2 era and even the PlayStation 3 era largely were just not... I didn't care about any of these games. Plus, they didn't look interesting to me.
No.
Mortal Kombat 5 Deadly Alliance... The character designs are kind of more cartoony and, I don't know, less defined.
Bland.
They're bland. I don't mind the story of we're sorcerers. I know how to make a Soulnado if you can help power this Dragon King's army I found. Soulnado. That's a sequel to Sharknado.
When we were watching it last night, I just burst out laughing. I'm like, Soulnado. I mean, it sounds sick. Like that's like a Pokemon attack, man. Yeah. That sounds all right, but then they say it with such gravitas. Soulnado.
Get out of Soulnado.
So wait, a Soulnado is just a bunch of souls that create wind?
I think it's like a special move that Quan Chi knows how to do, where it sucks all the souls in an area too, but he needs Shang Tsung who knows how to like harness the souls.
Oh yeah,
and that way. He will let Shang Tsung, this helps him collect souls as long as Shang Tsung agrees to put the souls into the Dragon King's army. So, let's talk about Onaga as soon as we're back, we're going to hear from some of the other shows here on the Greenlit Podcast Network. I know you're excited to hear about Onaga the Dragon King.
Oh, please.
We'll be right back.
Oh.
Ellen, in 15 seconds, what is Nice Games Club?
It's our game dev podcast. Steven, help!
Game mechanics, accessibility, art and animation, level design, prototyping.
Everything that goes into making video games. How's that, Mark?
Nice. Listen to Nice Games Club wherever you get your podcasts or at nicegames.club.
Hey folks, it's Asif Khan, CEO and Editor-in-Chief over at shacknews.com. Give a listen to our 9 to 5 Elon podcast about Tesla and electric vehicles and all sorts of cool stuff over there on the Greenlit Podcast Network.
A friend of mine, we developed this idea called the Guns for Arms Squad because whenever he drew something from his head, he did not like drawing hands because he just couldn't do it. So a lot of his characters had guns for arms, a la like Barrett.
If it works.
And the older we got, the more we kept liking it. And then we'd had someone like called the Cajun Crippler, who is literally, he just had alligator hands and stuff like that. But we had a character whose name is Mistake, but she's an aborted fetus.
That's good. And she's seeking revenge on her parents.
No, she's, yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually not bad.
Yep. And the scientist who did the operation.
The scientist, you mean like the doctor who does normal, like.
It's a Nazi scientist.
I don't want to be like.
Yeah, but it's a modern day take on a Nazi.
Yeah, man. It's a real commentary on pro-life and pro-choice.
And this isn't a Mortal Kombat plot we're talking about. Because
this is from my end. You know, if there were a character with alligator heads for hands, I would not be at all surprised.
Ed Boon furiously taking notes right now.
He's just like, oh shit, if we see him in the next one.
Get the Raw Dogs on our payroll. We need this.
I will let you have the idea as long as I can be the voice and mocap actor.
What would this character say?
He'd go, he's only got a couple lines. It's alligator hands. Uh-huh.
You like try and punch him, he grabs your hand, he goes, nah, and then he headbutts him.
Pretty much. But I think he just says that phrase over and over again.
Yeah.
A voodoo queen took a bunch of dead alligators and stitched it onto him.
He died in a swamp, and then like 30 alligators came around him and brought him back to life.
Yeah, a la Michelle Pfeiffer in Batman Returns.
No, a la Halle Berry in Catwoman.
Oh, even better. No, yeah, I'm into it. Get on it, Ed.
Yeah, well, that I can't come up with anything better than alligator hands. The Cajun Crippler.
The Cajun Crippler, yeah.
So with Deadly Alliance, Deception, and then Armageddon, honestly, I think
Its own little trilogy.
the only great character design, one of the only good ones, is Kenshi. Kenshi, the blind warrior who uses a sword.
That's sick.
I love that. And he's got like telekinetic powers, which helps him get around. Shang Tsung blinded him. He's just like on a like silent mission to go after him.
He's based off of Zenichiro, a famous series of movies from Japan. The Blind Swordsman. There's a ton of them. It's definitely based off of that. I know it is.
Yeah. And
It's also a huge trope, but I think it comes from that.
It looks cool though. And
He looks sick, yeah.
He starts off clean shaven, and then I love when you get to see old Kenshi and Mortal Kombat 10 just like with a beard.
Yeah, he looks good.
Because they didn't bring almost any other characters back. I love it for 9. They brought Curtis Stryker back for a while, and they're like, make him a Revenant and put him in the background.
You know what's really weird about Stryker in 9?
Did they brought him back at all?
It's that, but it's also they made his character model looked really good.
They made it look as good as possible.
No, it actually, like, when you really break down like the textures and what they were putting into other characters, they paid a lot of attention to Stryker.
I think that they realized he was going to be the toughest character to make interesting.
I mean, the guy who just uses guns and grenade launchers in battle.
And besides that, his background, I'm a cop.
But you know what? If he's really helping to defend Earthrealm.
I like what they did with Cabal's character in the retcon, where because even back then they said that he used to work for the Black Dragons, but he's gone good. I remember just as a kid thinking the character who wears a mask, and one of his fatalities just takes his mask off, and it's so scary.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. Like, it's pretty Darth Vader when you really break it down too. Like, he even had like the dumb voice.
Darth Vader is Scorpion. I would say Darth Vader's a Scorpion, where he finds out his family's killed, so he becomes an evil character, and he goes like around doing.
No, I meant with like look and like design.
And I was thinking about this earlier though. Like if there was a Darth Vader, like Scorpion's a pretty good Darth Vader parallel, where he's doing the work of some evil master who's manipulating him to do stuff. And then Scorpion kind of becomes an Obi-Wan Kenobi type because he tries to like raise Frost, who she goes power crazy.
Yeah.
And tries to kill him, so he kind of just goes out there on his own mission by himself. I don't know. I was thinking of like how some of them relate to other franchises.
Well, it's funny, you know, crossovers are so big now, but back in the 90s, if you could cross over like Star Wars with this, I know Lucasfilm would have never gone with it.
Yeah.
But a Darth Vader Scorpion crossover actually would have made a ton of sense.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been awful.
And I think, I mean, DC was probably just sitting around for a while like, stupid Marvel's got the MCU. Stupid Marvel, they got the Marvel versus Capcom.
Oh, they got Ezio? Just kidding.
We talked about all the characters from 1. Let's see if we didn't mention any from 2 yet. Baraka, not that interesting. Jax Briggs, I think his character becomes interesting.
When he gets the metal arms.
Well, that's when he became badass. I remember as a kid, like, holy shit. Can you imagine how hard he hits?
Fuck. Whoa, fuck. That's a punch.
I don't want to get punched by that guy.
Holy shit.
And I saw that the person who plays Jax, the actor at
he's
Midwest
buff
Gaming
as
Classic,
fuck.
He has gotten bigger. I think,
I saw recent stuff.
Yeah.
I run the other direction, thank you. I'm a coward as it is.
We got Katana, which I don't know if she's got an interesting backstory, and she gets cool. Like she goes to KatanaCon, and she's at one point leader of
She's got a huge fan base. And I didn't even realize.
She does. I like her more with her design from Mortal Kombat 9, 10, and 11 than the actress.
In 11, she looks fantastic.
She looks beautiful. Love it.
Yeah.
And then we also have Melina. Shang Tsung created an evil clone version mixed with DNA. Shang Tsung, I think in his spare time, he gets into some weird shit.
And Shao Kahn was like, when he finds out, he's just like, very good.
It's like, I was going to kill you, but I like this one. You got me this time, Shang Tsung.
They gave Melina a real Harley Quinn vibe in these ones too.
Well, and at 9, I thought it was interesting seeing her come to life, and she's only wearing one fucking thread. Which you can tone down the sexuality here, but I also like that they tone up the sexuality when you know that she's got that crazy face.
Yeah.
That's exciting then. But I like that she becomes more than just that crazy Harley Quinn. She knows she's the rightful heir, even though she's not. There's a debate to be had there, but she wants to rule, and she thinks she'll do a better job. I think Melina's character becomes pretty interesting.
She gets murdered by Devora in 10.
I hate Devora.
Devora, like, they kiss, and like she sends like bugs into her. Yeah.
And Devora just like taps Hanzo Asashi in the back, and Scorpion dies. I said, no. Scorpion doesn't go out by Devora's little hands.
Yeah, she's fun to play. I'll defend Devora. They just didn't give her a lot to do.
So we have Katana, 10,000 years old. Kung Lao.
I love the hat.
The hat is amazing.
I remember kind of being obsessed with him as a character, though not having been a huge fan of this series.
Yeah.
Because I said, a blade hat. That might be the coolest thing on the face of the planet. It's form and function.
Yeah. He looks cool and he could kill you.
Imagine if all those neckbeard weirdos had a fedora made out of, I don't know, spikes.
Don't give them ideas.
Oh, shit. Damn it, milady.
Kung Lao's cool, though. Cousin and friend of Liu Kang. He's just out there to get peace. I think he's probably got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder that Liu Kang gets all the attention.
It's also named after
the great hero.
The great hero, yeah.
Yeah.
That's rough. Great gameplay style, though.
And a killer rock band if you're ever in the Chicago area.
Kung Lao?
Yeah. Tony Marquez, he's the lead singer, and I don't know, I think it's just the name of the band is like Kung Lao and the somethings.
Kung Lao and the spin hats.
He wears the hat on stage.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, that's the reason to see it.
Oh, don't worry. We'll do karaoke with him next year.
Cool. That'll be fun.
Jade, a palette swap.
Interesting, because here's something that was, like, it's implied, not really, though, that she's African-American in 9.
And she's African-American.
She has dark skin.
She's dark-skinned in MK2, though, as well.
Yeah, but when you actually get to 11 and you see her again, she's being played by an African American woman.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, what I when they said Jade, I'm like,
I think that you might have maybe misremembered the earlier games because in the movies in Mortal Kombat Annihilation, she's played by an Asian lady. That's what it is. Because I wasn't sure either, and I went back and went, oh yeah, I remember that.
She has that magical staff that she gets out of nowhere.
Is there just I think in MK2 and 3, there's only one store where you could buy ninja outfits or lady ninja outfits.
Yeah, it's where your mom bought all of her like aerobics workout gear.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, we only got this outfit, but we got 10 colors.
So, Brad, if you had to choose a color for your ninja, what color would you choose?
White, because there hasn't been a white one yet.
Oh, damn it! I'm gonna choose a beautiful robin's egg blue.
Yeah,
it's super bright and it matches my eyes. Well, but my power will be
my name would be Whiteout.
Oh fuck!
Or super glue.
Mine will be Sky Guy.
Sky Guy.
And I can just disappear. That's it. That's my power.
Almost no attacks, but he disappears and wears him the fuck out.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, try and find me.
After MK2 and 3, when they do the redesigns for ninjas, Sub-Zero and Scorpion largely kind of look the same.
Scorpion gets that killer kind of Scorpion face
Ermac
mask.
Gets straight up Kingdom Hearts.
With the bandages.
He looks great, though.
He looks all right.
He's done in a good way.
He's fine.
Not too much Numura to him, but he's definitely got all the bandages, and I like his character. He's got an interesting character. Rain, however, gets it. I do not like his redesign.
The Mauve Avenger.
Yes. They leaned into, though, I'm a prince, and I'm from Edenia. Dude, no one liked you back then.
You're called Rain.
You were mostly a joke on the name Prince.
Yeah, Purple Rain. Yep. A lot of these are unforgivable. I think Smoke is redeemable in later installments.
I love in Mortal Kombat 9 when you're playing as Human Smoke and you peek out behind the tree to like watch that interaction, just like the character does when he's a secret character in MK2 and all he does is look up behind trees.
I call them the Face Woods.
I am no tree.
Well, it's funny because I noticed in that game specifically that they put a lot of attention into the facial expressions on the trees.
Yeah.
But not a ton. Someone definitely spent 5 all-nighters in a row making those trees.
Maybe out of clay? Probably out of clay?
No. I'm talking even from Mortal Kombat 9.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Because they were in there for a long time. There were quite a few scenes.
Yeah.
I mean, Smoke's cool. I just don't see how... Doesn't he have a fatality where he blows up the planet?
Why not, right?
I mean, I don't know.
Okay, we have Night Wolf.
Very cool.
Very cool.
So 90s.
Real name, Grey Cloud.
Grey Cloud.
It's interesting to
that
find
is
that out.
so emo.
Yeah.
That's sick, though. I like Nightwolf.
Dude, and
he looks fun to play in Aftermath.
He actually like hears the Great Spirit.
Yeah.
He wasn't called to the tournament necessarily. He's just so in tune with what's going on. He can feel what's happening and he knows to go there because he's so badass.
I like that Nightwolf is a mantle that gets passed down. Mm-hmm. Like kind of like you're the mantle of this time of Nightwolf. And I'm like, that's sick. And he can like make his axe glow blue and chop through shit. Mm-hmm. I mean, axes, they're one of the coolest weapons. Let's be clear. When he like cuts those cyborgs in half, I was kind of like, oh, I'm all on board for this shit.
And speaking of cyborgs, we only briefly mentioned the ones so far. So they show up.
There are too many.
There's 3 of note, and then there's Triborg, which is dumb. But
are you sure?
Mortal Kombat 3, you have Cyrax, Sector, and Smoke. Now, Sector is very much a one-note character. Mm-hmm. He's the guy who wants to be turned into a robot. He wants to blindly do his orders, and that's all he does. There's no conflict in Sector at all.
And he's got robot dreads.
Robot dreads. And there's a really sick song in Annihilation when Cyrax and Sector are fighting Jax.
I guess I don't know that one.
And then Cyrax is interesting because his character actually goes through, in the original timeline and the current timeline, he's much more interesting because he didn't really want to get turned into a robot. At one point, Sub-Zero finds him and reprograms him to try and kill Shao Kahn. He gets trapped in the desert. That's why in that one level, he's like, get me out of here.
Oh, okay.
And
that makes a little bit more sense.
Then after that, Johnny Cage, Jax and Sonya, they find him and they just get him back as human consciousness. So Cyrax actually just kind of has the humanity in him inside the robot.
God.
As far as if you want to know way too much about Cyrax, that's what we just did right there.
It makes me a little angry that they can say like, oh, but this is what's going on when there's no actual fucking context for it. When I saw his redemption in Mortal Kombat 11, I was like, why would I care about this? Nobody's giving me any reason to care about these characters.
I mean, in 9, did you remember in 9 when you actually saw Cyrax and Sector as humans for a while?
Yeah.
And Cyrax like, I don't know, dude. He's like, we're gonna do it. We're getting tattoos. Matching tattoos,
oh,
dude.
Shit, man. Think about how cool your dreads will be when you're a robot.
Fuck what your dad said, dude.
But
robot dreads.
But my dreads are already pretty cool. I'm not so sure, bro. I'm not so sure. Murder machine.
It is interesting when you see a fatality where the robots get cut in half. When you actually see what parts on the inside are
human
fleshy,
still. Yeah.
Fleshy.
Yeah. It's interesting. And when they invade like the cyborg facility, I'm like, this is the least compelling part of any of this. Because for some reason this whole robot subplot does absolutely nothing for me. It doesn't ache at my heartstrings. It's not even interesting. It's like, oh, it's the facility where they turn you into it.
I think that is less interesting than seeing how Sub-Zero reacts to it. I think it's just more of a way to develop Sub-Zero than anything.
These are my people.
And he cares about them, and he ultimately is trying to redeem them. And then, his best friend forever, Smoke, old Smokey boy. Because, dude, when he was a kid, they caught him with those 2 packs of Marlboro. They're like, we know what we're calling you, dude. Big Chief.
And then they made him smoke an entire carton.
Yep. And then the smoke was just blowing off his body the rest of his life.
Do you know anyone in your life who actually had that as like a punishment? If they got caught smoking, they had to smoke an entire pack?
No. It's just that's a commercial. That's a story.
It feels like something I would do.
Well, I mean, it's like we caught you with like having a reasonable drink of vodka. We're going to make you drink an entire bottle. That is not an appropriate punishment for anything. Of course it feels bad. No one some people do, but no one wants to smoke an entire pack in a closet.
Yeah, Brad, well, 8-year-old me, I looked at my mom and I said, yeah, I dare you, bitch.
You're a little 8-year-old, you just like puffing a cig in the living room.
I'm just like,
oh, am I not allowed to do this?
Oh, mother, while you were out providing, I've been...
None of this is going to matter when I'm a cybernetic assassin.
I won't have lungs when I'm a cybernetic assassin. And I'm going to have dreadlocks. You're going to have to deal with it. And also, I might have a tattoo. Not much you can say.
What are you going to do about it? I was the 3rd grader, maybe 2nd grader, who actually brought the Mortal Kombat 3 strategy guide to school. Because I just wanted to show it off to my friends. I never got busted with it, but I remember taking it out to recess, and we're all looking like, oh my God, dude. Shiva's wearing nothing.
Look at that side titty.
I bet she could juggle a lot with that.
God, I wonder how boobs feel. I wonder if 4 arms gave me a hug at the same time.
Dude, I wouldn't hug her, though. I wouldn't hug her.
I wouldn't hug her.
She's a girl. Dude.
I would.
We're, of course, talking about the lovable character Shiva.
Protector of Sindel.
And that's most of what she's known for.
Yep. A sexified Goro, which is a strange choice.
Oh, it's better than a sexified Motaro.
Oh, yeah.
They always portray Centaur as men in most imagery.
Yeah, no, that's always been the case, yeah.
Yeah. Because no one wants to imagine a woman with a horse vagina.
So whenever I think of Centaur, this is still extremely off topic, but in the first Percy Jackson movie from like 2000, early 2010s maybe, something like that, Pierce Brosnan is a Centaur.
Who plays Professor X in the new ones? James McAvoy. I wasn't super familiar with James McAvoy when I first saw him back in Chronicles of Narnia. And then you go back and watch it and you say, no shit, that guy's a fun.
Oh, it's Mr. Tumnus.
Look at his cute little leggies.
Oh, man, Tumnus.
It'd be better with a wheelchair and some cyber powers or something, telekinetic powers.
No, telepathic.
Sorry. We'll get to the DC universe soon. Not related to that comment, of course.
No.
I think that's all. We've talked about all the characters leading into Deadly Alliance. So, Deadly Alliance. Onaga, the Dragon King. This is when, we already used Shang Tsung, Shinnok, Shao Kahn, who's the next baddie? Make a guy who looks like a half dragon. He was actually the leader before Shao Kahn was. He was poisoned by Shao Kahn. He was entombed in a dragon egg, but his army was down there, and Shang Tsung and Quan Chi, they come up with their plan to get the souls, mostly for themselves, because they want to both have enough power to rule, and they both silently plan on betraying each other the moment that they can and still win, which is great because that's what they do. But they know that for their plan, they have to kill the two people strong enough to stop them right away. They believe they kill Shao Kahn. Turns out it was a decoy. But Liu Kang does legit just get his neck broke.
I saw that. I saw that cutscene. That's it.
They introduced vampires in this one.
I mean, look. So there have been so many games about these people brutalizing each other.
Yep.
And the two big sorcerer characters, they're still alive for some reason.
Oh, it's because they're slimy, man. They know how to just squeak by the moment they're in a bad position.
And so they team up and become Team Rocket.
And I don't want to say, I mean, almost like a Tyrion Lannister. They know how to say the right things to survive that time.
Right.
And they know how to use their gift of gab to eventually move up higher here or there with the powers that they have.
Yeah, but there have been so many installments. There's got to. It's like when Batman doesn't kill the Joker. It's just like, okay, at some point he's taken away so many lives. It's crimes against humanity. Even in the Nuremberg trials, he'd be hung. So what's keeping you, bud?
It's funny. Batman will kill 40 villains on the way to the Joker, and he's like, "I won't kill you. That's not what I'm about."
No, he doesn't kill him. He gives them all CTE, and then they murder their entire family.
Batman needs to be stopped.
I agree.
And I love you, Batman, but if you're listening, Batman, we love you, but you need to go down.
At least Spider-Man is all about like restraint.
Spider-Man, I have realized he's probably my favorite superhero, at least out of the big name ones. After that PS4 game, and I've just really rediscovered my love of how he is always punished for doing the right thing, but he keeps doing it.
Yeah.
So Scorpion, Deadly Alliance, before the game starts, like Scorpion is just torturing Quan Chi because he's managed to trap him into his realm of the Nether-realm, like his layer of hell. Mm-hmm. And these two Oni, these two demons named Moloch and Draman, who are on every top 10 list of the worst characters in all of Mortal Kombat. One of them looks like meat with a rock for an arm and a mask.
Yep.
And the other one just like a big, like demon-looking dude.
So first of all, Draman sounds a lot like Dramamine, which means sleepy bye-bye time.
Which I like.
Which is great, but I'm not sure what Draman actually means. Is that just made up? I don't know.
Well, it means shitty-looking character with a mask.
Fuck.
What was interesting when I was reading about his character, once was a vicious landlord who was being punished in the Nether-realm for being a dick.
That was on the Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Once a vicious landlord.
I'll get you the rent tomorrow. It's quarantine. It hasn't been working.
Man. Come on, man. It's a rough time. No, you'll give me the money or you'll perish.
And then he said it to the wrong person who just fireballed his ass. He said it to Whiteout and Sky Guy.
Dude, Sky Guy disappeared like that.
Sky Guy was out of it.
I saw it happen.
His family didn't get the powers, so they're just like...
You won't catch me this time. Kazoosh! And I say Kazoosh before I disappear.
Yeah, he does that. We don't have the rent either, though.
But what's your power then? If you're Whiteout, yeah.
The power of light, he can like blind you with lights, probably.
Oh, that sucks. Well, I mean, it's appropriate.
It's disorienting, so he can run around behind you and like...
Here's the thing. I would have called you a flashbang.
Flashbang? It would be a misnomer, though, since I'm a virgin.
Famously
a virgin.
Yeah.
That's Raw Dogs are saving ourselves for a YouTube show.
Okay.
So they have their own thing going on. Natara is a vampire lady. She's got her own separate scheme going on where she's trying to kind of... There's another mini realm that was absorbed by Outworld where the vampires are from. And she knows if she breaks the dragon egg, she can go back there. So she somehow gets both Reptile and Cyrax to do her bidding. Because Cyrax was... She joined the Outworld Investigation Agency. Yeah, we're getting out there.
Wait, now hold on. Are all the side characters in this just absolutely gobshit stupid? Is that what we're just learning? Is that it's just like, ooh, we're all sinister and we all have it out for ourselves and I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't know if Motaro's sinister. She's definitely manipulating both Cyrax. Well, Cyrax is trapped, and he needs to get back to Earth-realm. She's like, I'll help you if you help me find this orb.
Okay.
And then Reptile, what is poor little Reptile? He's like a dog whose master was killed. Shao Kahn's dead, and he's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Like we were saying, Walnut Brain.
Walnut Brain, and Natara has a sword. Like, this is one of the last Zaterran artifacts. Do you want this sword from your people? And Reptile's like, I like you. You gave me a treat.
Oh, I feel really bad for Reptile and his acid breath.
And he can't even like breathe on people because it might disfigure them.
Okay, so also evolutionarily, when did they? Never mind, it doesn't matter.
In Outworld, they needed to survive.
Yes, I'll agree to that.
What else we got? Kenshi goes seeking Cyrax and to kill Shang Tsung, but he winds up running into. So the Red Dragon clan makes its first appearance. They are the original Black Dragon clan.
Oh no!
And we of course have the character of Motaro, who is the leader and defeated Cabal and stole his hook swords. That's all the character development I have for Motaro.
They're called Shotels.
Shotels. And who is ranked as the worst Mortal Kombat character of all time.
Really?
Shu Hao.
Shu Hao.
Shu Hao.
I don't know if I've seen it.
He looks kind of like almost a zombie army general guy with Kano eye beam for a chest piece. And a pencil mustache.
Yeah, I did see a picture of him. And he's got M. Bison's hat for some reason.
The creators of the game, while they were making this, they got too far to where they had to use him.
Yeah.
And they hated him so much that they made sure he got killed off that game.
Wow.
He was a henchman for the Red Dragon clan. And
oh, no.
He was working with the Outworld Investigation Agency undercover. And I don't know how they didn't realize that guy was evil, because look at him. He's ranked as the worst character in pretty much every list.
He's basically like Kano, a weird green vampire, and M. Bison put together.
And less than all of them in a big way, too. It's like A plus B plus C equals way less than that.
Very interesting fan art, though. Wowie.
Oh, no. Rule 34, Shu Hao.
Somebody really likes him. Look at this picture. Someone spent a lot of time on this digital drawing.
Go to Rule 34, enter Shu Hao.
Well, this isn't Rule 34. This isn't sexy.
I'm just trying to tell him to. Yeah.
Unless it's you.
This is a note for me later.
Perfect.
Yeah. After Mortal Kombat 4, Raiden was made into an Elder God, because I think that's a mistake. Raiden is not a good protector.
Raiden is conceited.
He's conceited. He has a power complex.
Yeah.
And he never makes the right choice.
There's a lot of algebra going on in his mind. The A plus B equals C. He has no complexity that C minus B equals A. There's nothing that's...
He's really good at addition. He never learned multiplication.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but I must do this in order to create the appropriate timeline.
Okay, if I were to get a message from myself...
There's no subtlety.
If I got a message from myself, he must win, I would think about that shit for a week before I made a single action. Instead, he's like, nope, we'll do this now.
It's like, yes, no time to waste. And he won anyway.
Well, Shao Kahn is who had to win.
Oh, and the third one.
You know what the fucked up thing is, though? If Raiden hadn't done that at the end of Armageddon, Kitana was still, like, this was shown in part of 10. Kitana was still alive after Raiden would have been killed. She would have got a counterattack, defeated Shao Kahn, become the leader, and brought peace to the realm, because that was what was predicted. Raiden fucked the entire universe over because he was afraid he was going to die, and then it was fucked. Dude, Raiden destroys everything.
He's a bit of a Doctor Strange.
Does Doctor Strange do that a lot, though, where he kind of overcomplicates things in a bad way?
Well, he's supposed to be genius level. He's a surgeon. It's basically implied that he's got a photographic memory and genius level intellect. And there are some decisions he makes in like the 80s and 90s that don't turn out too great.
Yeah.
So it's if you have all of this power and you here's what I'm going to say from a character standpoint. If you're a character as powerful as Raiden and you're called a god and you don't fuck up, the story doesn't happen.
And that's why I'm very happy with where MK11 winds up, because I think Liu Kang, who is more of a thoughtful, I have been training my whole life to do the right thing, he is so much more fit.
Yep.
And I think even Raiden realized he's like, I fucked up.
Can I ask you a question about the end of 11 and into Aftermath?
Yes.
It confused me.
Are you talking about why Raiden's there and not Kitana?
Yes. Is this just alternate timeline again?
Well, okay. There's 3 endings to Mortal Kombat 10. So there's one where Liu Kang loses.
To 11?
Or to 11. To 11 leading into Aftermath. Okay, there's 3 endings to the end of 11. So Liu Kang, if he loses, Kronika stays the victor. If he loses one round to Kronika and then beats her, there wasn't enough time to bring Kitana back, so it's him and Raiden.
Oh,
and if he wins
that's
both,
the one that's canon?
That's the one that's canon. If he wins both, Kitana comes through. But the one that's canon is that he lost one, and then it's him and Raiden rebuilding.
Oh my God, I was so confused because I was like, oh, cool, an epilogue. And then I was like, oh, what?
And Shang Tsung walks through. He's like, we must do something else.
Stop what you're doing.
And I love how everybody, the moment Shang Tsung shows up, they're like,
I was like, fuck.
dude, why did you bring
Like,
him
why
to the party?
are you even? And also, how did Shang Tsung really get? Because this is like, it's implied like this is like the beginning of time, essentially.
Let's
Whatever. Come on, it's
let's
fine.
let's stay by 5 for a second.
Yeah. Go for it.
Let's talk about some of the new characters introduced in 5. We have Blaze. He's a playable character. He's a hidden character. He is an elemental warrior bound to guard the last dragon egg where Onaga's there. Blaze actually becomes the ultimate bad guy in Armageddon. Teased in Mortal Kombat 2. He's fighting on the back in one of the levels.
Oh.
Yep. They're like, who's that guy? Is his name Torch? And they're like,
Torch.
Turns out it's Blaze, bitch.
Blaze is a little bit edgier.
And I guess he is in the top 3 most powerful characters of all time. Who else would you put in there?
Get the fuck out of here. I mean, Kronika.
Nope.
Really? Controlling time itself?
Ed Boon, or is John Tobias, one of them said that Blaze is in the top 3 most powerful characters in the universe. This is before Kronika when he said it, though. So
I know.
Kronika, we'll put Kronika up there as
What
well.
can Blaze do? I assume it's a fire thing.
Honestly, he was an elemental warrior created by some Medinians. I don't know how he got that powerful, but they say that he's up there with Onaga and Dark Khan.
Dark Khan. He wasn't dark enough already?
Well, that's Dark Side mixed with Shao Kahn.
Okay.
So that's Blaze.
Dark Side from the DC universe?
Yeah, in DC Universe when they mixed together.
Oh my God. I was confused for a second because I didn't watch anything about MK versus DC. I didn't watch a single thing about this because I thought it wasn't canon.
I watched the hour-long story today. It was fine. But we are going to be back with the second part of this episode. If you want to hear the rest of this episode, you will need to support us on Patreon to get access to it. Yes. It's only the $3 tier.
Yeah.
One of those, and then you'll be able to hear Dylan and I finish talking about the lore because unfortunately there's a lot of more bullshit. And we're going to talk a little bit more about 9, 10, and 11 in detail, and we're going to get into some of the extra games as well.
Okay. I'm ready, I guess.
We'll need some more beers.
I imagine so.
Thanks for tuning in to Raw Dogs. We're part of the Greenlit Podcast Network. You can find us on Instagram, Hair the Dogcast, Facebook, Hair the Dogcast. We are on Twitter at Hot Dogcast. Mm-hmm. We're on every other week. And if you want to support us, how can they do that, Dylan?
You can go to patreon.com and you can subscribe to any of our tiers. If you go high enough, you can actually get a lot of benefit from it. You might even get to decide what we talk about on a future episode.
Thanks for tuning in. If you want to hear all about Shuhao, Kenshi, Li Mei, Mavato, and of course, Blaze, and oh my God, Shujinko. Fuck Shujinko, man. There's a lot here.
Mogumbo, Chijumbo.
Yep. Yeah. Support us on Patreon. It's not that expensive. We'd really appreciate it.
Cup of coffee a month.
A cup of coffee a month, and
or just we like to call it buying us a beer.
Yeah.
Even if it's like just a PBR tall boy.
If for the price of 2 PBR tall boys, you can find out more about Draman and Moloch.
Well, I don't know what city you live in, Brad, but
yeah, clearly I don't drink a lot of PBR tall boys. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you next time.
Going somewhere, Jarek? Jax! I thought you were going to... Thought I was what? Dead? Like my partner you just tossed off the cliff? I'm sorry, Jax. Please, don't drop me. Wait, I promise. Too late, Jarek. You can't drop me. You have to uphold the law. You have to arrest me. Wait, this is brutality. You can't do it. Wrong, Jarek. This is not a brutality. This is a fatality.